You know, some hobbies are just so much more than what they look like on the surface. They can be these amazing threads, right? Connecting us to history, to wild new technology, even to craftsmanship in ways you just wouldn't expect. It's like they build this bridge from a time that's long gone, straight to the cutting edge of today. All right, let's jump right in. I mean, look at these two. At first glance, what could they possibly have in common? Not a whole lot, right? On one hand, you've got a classic piece of American history. You can practically smell the sawdust and popcorn. And on the other, a total marvel of modern engineering. But trust me on this one, stick with me, because the answer, well, it tells this incredible story about a uniquely American passion.
So yeah, on one side, you have the classic Winchester pump-action rifle, and on the other, a Dillon Precision Reloading Press. I mean, one of these really looks like it belongs behind glass in a museum, while the other looks like it's straight out of a high-tech workshop. And that's what we're going to do today. We're going to connect the dots between these two seemingly different worlds.
Okay, so let's start with our piece of history here. This is not just any old rifle. No way. This is a genuine piece of Americana. This is the Winchester Model 62A. And if you've ever seen an old-time Carnival shooting gallery, chances are you've seen one of these things in action.
And what's just nuts to think about is the sheer amount of work these rifles put in. I mean, they were the workhorses of the Carnival midway. We're talking fired hundreds, maybe even thousands of times a week after week. That kind of abuse would just tear most firearms apart, but not these. Nope, they were literally built to last a lifetime. And look, that reputation for being tough as nails, that wasn't just some marketing spin. As you can see from this user review, people considered them the absolute gold standard for reliability. They just worked, day in, day out, no fuss. And that right there is exactly why Carnival owners absolutely loved them. And they were loved for a long time. I mean, production kicked off way back in 1932. Then, in 1940, there was a key design tweak that gave us the Model 62A. It used more modern coil springs. By the time the final one rolled off the assembly line in 1959, almost 500,000 of them had been made. Just think about that. So here's the thing. It doesn't matter if you're out planking at some targets with a 90-year-old classic, or you're competing with the latest and greatest firearm, you need one thing: ammunition. And that single shared need, that's our bridge. That's what connects the past to the present. So let's follow that thread and see exactly where it takes us. Which brings us to the modern side of our story, the world of reloading or hand loading. It's this amazing hobby where precision, total customization, and good old-fashioned craftsmanship all come together. And when you talk about this world, one of the biggest names you're going to hear is Dillon Precision. Okay, so what is reloading exactly? Well, think of it this way. It's kind of like a master chef who doesn't just grab ingredients from the grocery store. No, they carefully source and prepare every single component to create the absolute perfect dish. Reloaders? They do the exact same thing, just with casings, primers, powder, and bullets, all to craft the perfect cartridge. So you might be asking, why would anyone go to all that trouble? Well, there are really three big reasons. For starters, it's way cheaper in the long run. Second, you can get some absolutely incredible precision by tuning your ammo to one specific firearm. And third, for a lot of people, it's just the joy of the craft itself. You know, that satisfaction you get from a technical, hands-on, and really rewarding process.
All right, so if you decide you want to get into this whole thing, the next big question is, what gear do you need? Dillon makes a whole range of what they call progressive loaders. They've got everything from entry-level machines that are perfect for beginners all the way up to what are basically personal ammo factories for the really serious expert.
Okay, let's just get to the first thing that's probably on your mind. How much does this stuff cost? As you can see right here, you can actually get started with their Square Deal B model for a little over $400. But as you move on up the line, the investment definitely gets bigger, topping out with the Super 1050 at nearly $1,800. So what's all that extra money buying you? One word: speed. A lot of it. And this chart really shows you the difference. The beginner-friendly Square Deal B, it can crank out, say, 300 to 500 rounds in an hour. Not bad. But the top-of-the-line Super 1050, we're talking over 1,000. That's the difference between a weekend project and basically running your own small-scale production line.
The other big thing you're paying for is automation. So let's just take a look at two popular mid-range models. With the RL550C, you have to manually advance the cartridges from one station to the next. But with the more expensive XL650, it does that for you, automatically. So, pretty simple. More money gets you more efficiency and a much smoother workflow.
But you know what? This hobby is way more than just the machines. There's this entire culture built up around it.
It's a real community of people who share a passion for detail, a pretty dry sense of humor, and just a ton of shared knowledge.
And you can see that personality shine through right in their official instructions. Check out this line from the directions for their case loop. It's got this great tongue-in-cheek humor to it. It's one of those little inside jokes that, if you're in the hobby, you get it immediately.
And it's not just a joke, it happens in real life. This letter from a customer, Kelly, is perfect. She wrote in because her fiancé had basically taken over all of her cake pans and Tupperware for his reloading projects. And the funny thing is, that's what actually got her interested in the hobby in the first place. And that really shows you how the whole community is supported. It's never just about those big blue machines. It's an entire ecosystem, really. You've got all the essential accessories, from safety gear like these hearing protectors, to spare parts kits, cleaning supplies, the whole shebang.
Okay, so now let's bring this all full circle. We've looked at a classic tool from the past and a high-tech machine of the present. And yeah, on the surface, they seem like they're worlds apart. But the way they connect tells us something really fascinating about how hobbies like this evolve over time. So that Winchester, that rifle represents the start of the journey. It's a tool that was built for one thing: pure utility. It was made for incredible durability, a total workhorse designed to do a job, day in and day out. Its beauty isn't in fancy details, it's in its rugged function and all the history it carries.
And the Dillon Press? Well, that represents where the journey leads. It goes way beyond simple utility and enters this whole other realm of specialization, maybe even art. This isn't just about making a bullet that works anymore. It's about crafting the perfect bullet, one that's tailored down to the tiniest measurement for a very specific purpose. It's watching a necessity transform into a true personal craft.
And that is the key takeaway here. They aren't opposites at all. They're just two different points on the very same timeline, showing us how a passion can evolve. What started as a simple need for a reliable tool, that old Carnival rifle, can, with enough time and technology, transform into this highly specialized, almost artistic pursuit. It's really the evolution of craftsmanship itself, going from industrial-age toughness to information-age precision. So in the end, it's not really about choosing history or high-tech. It's about seeing the whole arc of a hobby, watching it go from just a functional tool to a real form of personal expression. And you know, this story isn't unique. It reflects how so many of our passions have changed over the years. And it leaves us with a pretty big question, right? As technology keeps racing forward, where will this evolution of craftsmanship take us next?